Hey everyone, I'm Toby Ryan, and what I've got here is called Vocalise by Heavyocity. And the first thing that caught my attention when I opened this up are these phrases. We have A minor, C minor, D sharp minor, and F sharp minor. It's really nice that they do this because it gives you an idea of the key of the sample, making it convenient in this pink zone down here to rekey each of these samples or this whole set right here to fit in your composition. All right, so I'm going to dive into the sample tab here so you can see and hear some of these phrases. The performance of these sound amazing. But let's say we want to use this second part right here. We can use the start knob to select where we want it to begin. So now, just in that alone, you can dissect any of these samples, put them together however you need to in your composition, and form a new vocal phrase just by playing with the start. Now that's just one way to use them creatively, but you can plug them in as they are and they sound fantastic. And then on top of that, they give you the tools and the workflow to change, punish, twist, and add different various effects that can really add to the performance and pull the listener in. All right, so let's say we need to get even more targeted than that for our composition. And for this, I'm thinking an ah or an ooh, something vowel shaped. And what's really cool is they actually give you an entire folder dedicated to that kind of vowel in the Sustained Vowels folder. And I'm just gonna drag in an ah real quick. Now this next part here is really cool because this is where the power of the gravity engine comes into play. Once we enable this and choose 1/4, 1/4 triplets, etc., you'll see it pulsing across channel 1, 2, and 3. And depending on how we actually set this knob, we can add more movement and depth and kind of immerse the listener in the performance. Now what's really convenient about all these controls is you can dial in however much of the desired effect you want to achieve, however it be a lot or little. You can be as subtle as you need to as you're modulating these parameters, even panning and left and right. It's right up here in these sliders where it's easily adjustable so you can capture your ideas quickly and move on with your next inspiration. There's so much emotion and character that was captured in each of these performances by these singers that makes this really enjoyable to listen to and play around with. As far as character and flavors go, they give you a whole bunch to choose from. There really is a lot of content in this pack. There's over 170 NKI instruments. There's over 750 individual sound sources and over 330 snapshots that are variations of these, such as short, ambient, motion swells, and more. All right, so we're going to change gears real quick and then go into the performance palettes. I'm going to let you listen to some of these snapshots because they are really cool and they show the versatility of what you can actually do with these instruments. I'm going to try playing shorter notes for this snapshot. I really like how each of these snapshots in this one instrument spark new ideas. The motion pulse is really cool because it introduces the next area of this instrument called motion. And inside the motion tab, we have channel 1, 2, and 3 again, but now we can control the volume, pan, and pitch in a different way. Before we get really creative, let's go ahead and look in this browse because there are over 300 motion presets inside these folders. I'm going to go ahead and fire it up, and now I have something that I can use. Now, if you still want to dive deeper and use these more creatively, you can draw in your own automation and create everything from scratch. Like, for instance, these volume ramps you can draw in, or there's combs, there's LFOs, there's even randomized buttons to find new inspiration. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the pads area, and we'll open up some of those. I'm going to open up the complex folder here and open up the first one, Alone in the Dark. You'll notice on some of these there's the letters MW on the name. That stands for mod wheel, and there are multiple parameters assigned to the mod wheel that you can take advantage of. Now, in addition to the mod wheel, you can come down here and right click on any of these parameters, say Learn MIDI, and move your MIDI knob or slider and take complete control over any of these parameters. I'm going to go ahead and throw on a bunch of these parameters on my MIDI controller real quick, so you can see that you can have an advanced production setup to perform these effects as you see fit. Now, if you find ones that you don't want, you can come over here to any of the parameters, right click, and remove the MIDI just as easily as before. Now, playing along with that same idea of triggering effects, I'm going to show you the T effects area that allows you to trigger effects with your keyboard, such as distortion, lo-fi, filter, and more. So the T effects are very versatile. You can trigger them with your keyboard. You can turn them on like up top here in these little buttons. And you can also control each and every one of these knobs right here. But under the hood in the advanced section is really where you have more control over these effects. What's really awesome is because these notes are MIDI and the trigger effects, you trigger them in your composition when you want these feelings of lo-fi, panning, and delay to creep in on the listener and, in a way, conjure up that emotional listening experience. Alright, so the last page we have is the EQ and filter tab. This gives us a per channel EQ so that we can adjust any of the sounds that we want to. We have the volume adjusters, and of course we have our band and Q settings, so we can set those per equalizer as well. Then we have the filter page, which is just next to the EQ. I'm going to go ahead and turn these all on so you can hear what they sound like. And there's actually quite a few different filters you can use, such as vowel, formant, band pass, low pass, high pass. You can adjust these in a way that you can utilize envelopes so that they start at a specific time and fade in and fade out. Depending on whenever you press and release your keys, you can have it open up or close. The formant and the vowels are some of my favorites because they kind of simulate the way the human voice articulates as we speak or as we sing. Gives that similar character, making it very useful for this particular style of instrument. All right, so if you haven't yet, go to heavyocity.com and check out their sound bites. If you want to hear more Vocalise, they've got some really nice tutorials and the tech specs for more details about this product. All right, so that's it for this tutorial. Hope you guys have a great week, and thanks for watching.